best way to put this. But is that appropriate? Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so that you don't have to. But you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. Welcome back, guys. Welcome. It's good to have you guys on. Before we get into anything beyond what we were already talking about, here is a way you can support our channel. Here's some business, real quick. I had an idea in mind. Oh, subscribe to us on YouTube. That's a great way to support us. If you're listening for the first time, if you're viewing for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We're not one of those kind of channels that's just going to be like, smash that like button and subscribe and stuff. We're not there yet. Maybe we will one day. But it does help us to get subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, just go to youtube.com, https://www.youtube. That's not with a U. That's youtube.com. And then go to our channel, which is Chill Filtered Podcast, and then press subscribe because you love us. That's the business. And here's the podcast, as they used to say, those people. Bryan, first question for you. What are you entry buzzing on? Second question, how are you doing?
First answer, I'm entry buzzing on Sazerac Baby Saz. Hey, yours is in the decanter and everything.
Yeah, like a nice one too.
Nice. I actually have a store pick version of Baby Saz.
What? I didn't even know they did store picks.
Oh yeah.
Since when did they do single barrels?
I don't know. I don't know when they started, but I picked one up from a cigar bar around here called Fox's Cigar Bar. Yeah. I don't know if that's a national chain or what, but
no, it's only Gilbert. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Or at least to my knowledge, Gilbert. Yeah.
Yeah, they were for a short period of time. They were in my. Say again.
All right, no, go ahead.
For a short period of time, they were in my. Goodness gracious, man! They're in Gilbert, near the Santan Mall, and they used to be in my rotation of like places to go pop in and see if they have like maybe they would get like an Elijah Craig barrel proof kind of thing, whatever the newest release is. And one day I went in there and they had a store pick Baby Saz, and I was like, well, I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing, so I'll get it. Yeah, and then just about a month or two ago, Trevor's store I go to all the time.
Really?
They had a Baby Saz store pick too, so I've got an unopened one too.
That's funny.
But I did spill that all over my desk about 10 minutes ago.
Nice.
So half of my entry buzz is gone, probably for the best. I don't know.
It's funny. I had some friends when I lived in Phoenix, and none of them wanted to go to a cigar bar with me. So I never went to Fox's, but I saw they had some picks. I saw they had some good whiskey. I'm not a hater on cigars. I keep them, in moderation for sure. I like to smoke maybe once or twice a year. But I was always like asking friends, like, do you smoke cigars, or do you like at least like appreciate cigars, or like can tolerate cigars?
You just want
to always say no, like a no, full stop. And I was like, okay. And so I never got to go to Fox as well as
my buddy Josh kind of got me into him a little bit, and it was, I had fun smoking a cigar. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun to try to pick out flavors and things, and so I'd get a pack, or I'd get a couple that he recommends, but then I would never just go out on my back patio and just smoke a cigar like by myself. Yeah. So eventually we'd have like a pool day or something, and I'd be like, "Hey, you guys want a cigar? You want a cigar?" And some of my friends were probably like, "Sure, I guess, whatever."
Yeah,
and,
I guess we'll force it.
Yeah. So I kind of push cigars on people, and then I was just never getting around to doing it on my own. And at the point now where like I won't ever keep my own. But if I was out somewhere with somebody else, and somebody else was like, "Hey, you want a cigar?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, yes."
Do you know? Okay, so have I ever told the story about how I saved a man's life that had to do with cigars?
Sounds vaguely familiar, but due for another go around.
Okay, correct. Or call me out if this sounds super familiar, but my friend Trevor and my friend Ryan and they live in, or at least we also used to live in Colorado Springs, and we had a tradition, and it was Friendsgiving, and it wasn't like your average Friendsgiving. Like we were talking about Friendsgiving before Friendsgiving was like a thing, and our version of Friendsgiving was simple. It was go to Buffalo Wild Wings and bring our. Does this all sound familiar?
No.
Not yet? Okay. Bring our poster of Jackie Chan that we all passed around house to house and all that. And it was like a great picture. It was like 80s era Jackie Chan. It was amazing. And it was like a poster. And we'd bring them to the Buffalo Wild Wings. We'd sit in a booth. We'd put Jackie against the wall. And we would eat wings and enjoy them. And people would like walk by and be like, what? And we're like, you like it, don't you? Or like stuff like that. Like we just like, yeah, he's part of our crew. And then the next stage, we would get cigars at like a cigar shop, and there was like a decent one in Colorado Springs. It was actually called Stags or something like that. But we would go there, and then we would go to one of our houses and hit up the back porch and just smoke a cigar while drinking bourbon or something like that. And so the last time we ever did it, I think it was the last time, if not second to last time, I was visiting town because I had moved away for a while. And so we made it all happen. We brought Jackie to the Buffalo Wild Wings. We had a great time. Then we go to Stags, and they're closed for the night. They already had, closed up. So we're like, well, there's got to be another, or no, this was the second to last time anyway. So, so we're like, there's got to be another place. We found this place off of Nevada Avenue or Road or whatever. And we get there, and we're like, is anyone here? And so we like kind of look past the store, and it's like this very interesting long section of like, it was a strip mall. But in the back, it was almost like someone was living back there. But we're like, I don't know. Like there's a TV on. Maybe it's just the lounge or something like that. And so we're like, is anyone here? We're trying to buy some cigars. And then we start to notice there's a guy watching the TV, and he's hooked up to an oxygen tank or like some sort of ventilator kind of thing. And there's no explosions, if you're wondering, but we're basically like, yeah, like, so anyway, we're basically like worried at this point because this guy is not waking up when we're like, hey, can we buy these cigars? And he is not waking up, but he's breathing. We can hear him breathing and see it in the ventilator kind of thing he's got on, that there is breath. So we're like, we really want these cigars, and we don't want this night to be like this huge buzzkill. So we're like, all right, they got cameras. We saw there were like security cameras, and we're like, we like pointed at the camera. We're like, here's 20 or like $30 or something like that. We're gonna put it under this little portion near your like cashier desk. Yeah, cash register. And then we're going to walk away with these cigars. And so we're like, they're not going to like, the cops aren't going to be called on us. And we're like, and I have this weird feeling in me that's like, I feel like I shouldn't just leave this guy, but he's probably fine. And so we actually just walk out, and I'm like, sweet. As soon as we walk out, I see a cop, and he's pulled someone over for like some sort of driving thing. And I walk up to the cop, and I'm like, sorry to interrupt. Just want you to know that there's a guy in there, and he wasn't waking up. He's breathing, but we're a little concerned. Can you just check on him? And then we leave.
Yeah.
And never seen him again. Never even went to that tobacco store again. Next time I come to Colorado Springs, we pull a Friendsgiving. It doesn't need to be November, for the record. And we go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and then we go to Stag, and Stag is closed again. And they just close early in the night. It sucks. So then we were like, okay, well, we'll go to that place we went to in Nevada. And then we looked at that's closed. And so we're like, oh, that sucks. Like, it's closed for good. And then we found there was another one like a mile down the road on Nevada. And so we go there, and we're like, we talk to this one guy behind the counter, and this story's wrapping up. I mean, I know it's a good story. So we're like talking it up with the guy behind the counter. He's like a Middle Eastern guy, but really like just like really happy to have us there, happy to talk tobacco, like cigars and all that. Yeah. And as we're walking out the door after purchasing some that he recommended to us, we go, this is so much better a experience than what happened last time. And he stops us and he goes, "What do you mean?" And we're like, "Well, last time we were down the road, just down there at that one place. And then we basically we told him the whole story." And he goes, "So you're the guys." And he goes, "You guys saved his life because his like machine broke and he was going to die and run out of like legit oxygen and just pass away. But like you told a cop and the cop pulled the ambulance in and everyone took care of him. But like you guys legitimately saved his life." And I'm like, we're heroes. Like, we made it this big deal. We're like, you remember that? We always like talk about it. Remember that time we saved that guy's life? And like, it's so funny.
That's
so
crazy.
the cigar owner was like, he's like, "You guys can come back here and get a 20% discount on whatever you want from now on." And so that was my cigar life-saving story.
That's cool.
So yeah.
I've never have I ever saved a man's life before.
I know, right? It was great. I feel great about it. So you haven't heard that story before?
I must have missed that one. I don't know.
Well, I must not have told it on the podcast at least.
New to me, new to some, maybe, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. How far are we on? How far are we along? No, we're good.
What you been up to this past week?
I've been dieting again.
Gross.
I know, but it's actually been good. Okay, so not good, but it's been not as bad as other diets. Okay, so here's the thing. I've done it before. I finally hit my final new score where I was like, all right, it's time. Once I break this boundary in weight, I just got to go on a diet again. And so one of the diets I've enjoyed basically has like, you can count calories and stuff like that, but there are freebies according to this diet. And one of them is vegetables and fruit. So you can eat as much vegetables and fruit you want. You can like eat it to your heart's content. And that's a part of the diet. But then there's also chicken and eggs are the other things. And random other things like chickpeas you can eat.
Nice.
Stuff like that for free. And so do you ever go to Salad and Go?
Yeah, for sure. And I remember you talking about Salad and Go.
I love Salad
not too long ago.
Like, it's like the best place.
Yeah. It's like $5 or maybe even a little less for something for like a Chipotle burrito sized Caesar chicken wrap
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would go there at least 2 or 3 times a week when I lived in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, one of my favorite salads that I don't think they even do anymore, but was their antipasto salad. And so I was like, it has like salami and pepperoncinis and Kalamata olives, feta cheese, mozzarella balls.
I'd like that.
I was like, okay, I'm going to make my own antipasto salad. And that's what I did. And so all the last 2 weeks I've been, for lunch at least, making antipasto salads. And it's only like a third of my daily calorie counts, otherwise.
Yeah.
And so I was like stoked. And then the craziest thing, like I was like, this is actually good. Like I can fill myself. I can add chicken to it. And I like throw down. Like I have so much in there that it'll like, it's like a meal and a half.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is good. And then the rest of the day, I kind of count calories and eat fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. And then I started on Monday morning a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I weighed myself this Monday morning. I had lost 5.2 pounds already.
Dang.
So I'm like on my way to my goal weight. So my goal weight is 20 pounds less than what I started at. So
yeah.
So anyway,
at least
I'm pumped, but also what's that?
20 is not too big of a swing. 20 is doable. 20 is doable with diet and exercise.
Yeah.
Easy.
Especially if I could
discipline.
I know I won't be able to, but if I could go 5 pounds a week, that'll be a quick diet.
Yeah. Can you? Hollywood miracle diet.
Probably a lot of water weight or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that's me. But otherwise, work's been good, and kids are good. Kids are fun.
Your work kind of spin up. You got some real stuff to do at work yet?
Yes, finally have some things to do and feeling challenged by them, which is a good thing. So
good. Is this the kind of deal where you're going to have tests to take every now and then, twice a year or once a year?
Still, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will never stop. But I probably should be able to. But at the rate I'm going, I will never stop. but it's a grudge match
It
at this
really
point.
is a lifelong, even when you're
Not if
5
you're
years
good at
from
it.
retirement. Oh,
Not
because
if
you
you're good at it.
make your way up the chain and be done
But,
with it
like,
then, or
I've seen people that finish their exams by, like, age 24,
are
and
they,
I'm
like, the
like,
most
"Here I am."
insane?
They not I wouldn't say they lack a social life, but they forego a social life for a little
Yeah,
bit,
right.
and are able to balance all that stuff, and I have to balance in a different kinda way.
Yeah. I didn't
But
even
yeah, they
get a
can be done.
master's, so
What's that?
I didn't even get a master's.
Yeah.
There were people that I knew who started work, and then they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna work and get my master's, and the company will even pay for it," and I'm just like,
Mhm.
"I just have no interest in doing that."
Dude, but one of the reasons I wanted to be an actuary was because I didn't have to go to get a master's degree. Although I did go
Mhm.
back to school for 1 year, that put me in the trajectory in a good way. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still like I just need to get a few more exams and then I'll be done. Some people
Mm.
get to 10. I just need to get to 7.
Is 10,
Yeah.
like, literally the max, the cap?
10 is the max. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Whew, exams. But I'm going to start studying at the end of the month. And this company I work for now has much better studying accommodations, like study
Nice.
time, study like
Nice.
stuff like that. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to actually. My last company really didn't have good accommodations, so that's why I
Mm.
was falling even further behind. So
So you essentially had to do it on your own time?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, yeah.
Rough.
What's new with you?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I last weekend last weekend there was a event that I went to. I realized there's a couple little hobbies I haven't talked about at all here.
Oh yeah.
I'm also big into mead.
Mead. He's a
Yeah.
mead man.
Mead, man.
I
I
love I
Yeah,
love
go ahead.
when mead gets switched for the or not gets mistaken for the word meat.
Meat. Yeah, yeah.
I'm really into meat, man.
I do love
Yeah,
meat and mead,
as you
but this
should.
past weekend there weren't any meat parties, but there was a
Uh-huh.
mead party that I went to.
I need to start a meat party. Although that sounds dirty.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So there's this company called Superstition Meadery.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar at all when you were
It
living here?
does. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've heard of it. Yeah.
So they yeah, they make mead. They've been doing it for quite a while, and they're I haven't had a lot of mead. I haven't had a lot of other meads outside Superstition, but what I have had has been on the lighter side, on the thinner side,
Mhm.
like a little more effervescent, almost like a
Uh-huh.
cider.
Yeah,
Almost like
yeah.
a cider.
Yeah.
So Superstition stuff, it ends up being like really thick, rich, and
Nice.
syrupy. Like as a dessert. Like
Nice.
you don't want to just pound these, you know. Anyway,
Yeah. Are they
but
high
it's
proof or high gravity
no,
too?
they're about 14%,
Okay. So like
14%. So
wine-ish.
kind of yeah, very wineish. But it's very much a like we'll open one small like 375 bottle
Uh-huh.
and split it as like two like normal to large glasses, and but like
Yeah.
that's it. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
all we want. But they just have an endless variety of interesting
That's cool.
flavors that I should have had examples of that I'm thinking of now.
Like
But
blueberry.
yeah, blueberry, totally. Actually blueberry, funny you say that. One their
Uh,
top selling one is a little cidery. I think it's at like
uh,
7.8%,
nice.
and it's a blueberry effervescent. I think it literally is a cider actually now that I think about it,
Nice.
but it's
Wait,
their
but
top
it's
selling
got
product.
mead though?
Yeah, it is fermented honey is
Okay,
how it
gotcha.
is
It's not
how
like
it is made.
apples. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But just any kinds of fruit, any kind of
Nice.
interesting herbs, like they've done crazy combos. One of the more interesting examples, though, is our newest Patreon subscriber,
Hey,
Jim
Jimmy.
Mathwig. Yeah, my father-in-law signed up for
Yeah.
the same deal as Bryan with the 1 year sub,
Yeah. At
full year sub at the
the
drink along level.
stemless Glencairn tier.
Yeah, so he'll get one of those too. So
Mhm.
anyway, Jim and Patty, my parents-in-law,
Uh-huh.
one of the fun things that we did recently on a trip to Hawaii was
Ooh.
is let's see, there's this uh fruit called calamansi, and it's like a little lime. It's like a tart lime, and it's this Hawaiian staple. It's a traditional Hawaiian kind of thing to take. Honeydew. Pretty sure it's honeydew or cantaloupe, but I want to say honeydew. And you squeeze the calamansi lime on the honeydew, and you get this like sweet and sour kind of fruit, and it's like a breakfast or something kind of snack.
Really?
And so that unique combination, Superstition Meadery did one where it had a little lime, it had a little honeydew or cantaloupe, if I can't remember. And they called it Tropic of Calamansi, and it was like, and it came out after we did this whole thing that we did in Hawaii where we do it ourselves, and so it hit us emotionally in the perfect spot.
Oh, totally.
They come up with all sorts of creative ideas of meats to make.
So Phoenix,
their original home base is up in Prescott.
Okay, gotcha.
And then about 3 years ago, they opened up a tasting room in downtown Phoenix. So there is a tasting room now. And the party that they had going on this weekend was their premium line that they come out with. That is the richest, most syrupy, sweetest. They call it the Berry White series.
Nice.
And it's like berry, it's like blueberry, blackberry, strawberry, raspberry.
Nice.
And the white comes from white chocolate. So it's got a little like creamy, light.
Oh, cool.
Chocolate flavor that gets blended with the berry, and it is just a thick, rich, syrupy mead. And so they hold a party every year when they release their new batch. So I got to go and try all the new ones and try other fun new things too, and eat some food and hang out. And
I bet there's not a lot of like regulation there, similar to like bourbon, or not similar to bourbon rather, where it's like you can't add certain things, or like you can't. But there's probably regulation, legally stuff, but
like say whatever you did and you can do whatever you want. Just we went crazy with this one and we did this thing that's never been done before, but here it is. Hope you like it.
So why don't they distill that stuff?
I don't know. I don't have.
So I've asked one time and they're like, it doesn't distill well, but I didn't believe them. I was like, you just haven't tried. But I went to like this.
You haven't tried.
Yeah, exactly. I went to this out in Boulder. We went to a meadery there, and it was like, I think it was a Red Rocks meadery or something like that, and it was good.
Nice.
But that's actually like my only not hesitation, but my only like thing about meaderies. I'm like, I want you to distill it, but no one does. Well, what would you call it? It's not like, it's not rum, it's not brandy. It's definitely not whiskey.
Yeah,
just
fermented honey
whiskey.
Distilled. Yeah,
but not like Tennessee honey, for the record.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure that out. Maybe we'll start our own honey whiskey.
I'll make the mead and you distill it, since that sounds like that's the hard part. You can do it.
And the more illegal part. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Do we tell our listeners what we're drinking today?
No, it has not been said yet. All that's been said is we're entry buzzing on Baby Saz.
Yeah, and multiply that by 3 and put it at 90 proof again, and you got Sazerac 18, baby.
Oh yeah.
I'm stoked about this.
I am so stoked too. This is the only BTAC I've never had before. I've tried other ones at a bar. I'm somehow fortunate enough to own a Georgia T Stag.
So this is your final piece of the puzzle?
This is my final infinity stone here.
I tried, I think Saz 18 was my second BTAC, actually. This was in 2014 when I had first tried Eagle Rare 17. And then the next thing I tried was Sazerac 18 and then Handy. And then I got a bottle of William LaRue with my friend Trevor, who I just mentioned, who also saved a life with me. And then I think Stag was later. Stag was probably my last one, which is crazy. So all by 2015 I had all 5.
Yeah. At bars, Sazerac 18 seems to usually be priced at the upper end. And so, like, if I'm going to splurge and I'm going to have something fun, I see Saz 18 and like William LaRue Weller priced at the same price per ounce. I'm like, I kind of just want William LaRue Weller.
Yeah. Yeah, especially for the bang for your buck.
Yeah.
I when I got Saz 18, you know how much I paid for it? For like 2 fingers in a glass wider than this. It
was this
like
in this in France?
No, this was in Colorado Springs.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna guess 45 though.
No, I paid like $8 for a pour. We tipped the guy like out his nose. If
Did
that
he
makes any
like
sense.
ring you up wrong, maybe on purpose?
This was 2014, so it was like it was big, yes, but not as big as it is today. Like finding a Saz 18. So it was like, no, he would just pour it for us. And same with the Eagle Rare, same with the Handy, same with everything. Like he would just pour us antique collection. And it was on the for example, like the Eagle Rare 17 was on the menu for $25, but he's like, nah, I'll just charge you 7 or 8 for it. Nice. And we would like tip the heck out of that guy.
That's cool.
That's the thing is like if I'm expecting to spend like $50, for example, and you charge me 30, you're getting a $20 tip for me.
Right.
Because you're still saving me money because I'm not tipping on $50.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'll easily throw down a 66% tip in that case where it's like, you took care of me, I'll take good care of you, you know?
Totally.
Usually the bartenders keep that, total, unless they're sharing with other bartenders, but still.
True.
Anyway, what do you say we get into the history? We'll talk Saz 18 and the history of the BTAC, and then we'll drink it.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll send it quick to break. We'll be right back. We are back. Some quick notes to get to. I did want to give a shout out to our newest Patreon member, Jim Mathwig. Did I pronounce that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I like him.
I like him too.
You know what people that are C-bald wear? They wear math wigs because they're math people and they're C-bald.
Yeah, well, now that he's a Patreon subscriber, he's even more gorgeous than he already was.
Yeah. He don't need no wig.
Yeah.
Yep. Someone's telling me he has good hair. Does he have good hair? Don't answer that.
Sorry,
Jim. Yeah, so thanks, Jim. You are so beautiful, and you are a Patreon member. And you're going to be on the Stemless Glencairn tier, which means you get drink along samples. All right. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate you. Did we shout out Bryan on the podcast yet?
I repped him. We didn't go in depth on just how gorgeous he is.
Let's talk about Brian Duncan for a second.
Yeah.
I saw his hair in that picture. He is a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man.
Yeah.
He is so charismatic. And the fact that he is a Patreon subscriber now.
Is he like a doctor or something? I got doctor vibes from that guy.
No, he's real estate.
There you
go. He works, he flips houses maybe or something. He works real estate deals, and he's going to be embarrassed that I don't even know what he does after all these conversations.
I bet you he knows Brandon Hunt.
Brandon Hunt? That name sounds familiar to me even.
Bourbon guy and real estate. He's the guy behind Bourbon Charity.
Oh, okay. That's how I know
the Bourbon Charity.
Nice.
No, yeah. So if you're listening, Brian, do you know Brandon Hunt? I'd love to know. All right. Real quick note to get to. Christmas is coming. For those of you who don't know and have not been a part of the Chilford community for at least a year, you know what that means, or you don't know what that means. But those who have know what it means. The Christmas episode is coming. Plan accordingly, and you may be compensated generously. Check us out. If you haven't listened last week. We do gifts for Christmas, and we can take care of you, maybe, if you're lucky enough, or if you give the best gift. So anyway, we'll talk about more next week. I don't want to rep it every single time hardcore. So next week, we'll talk about it more. And this week, hey, think about Christmas. It's coming right up. Goodness. Also, Patreon peeps, hop on the sample sharing Secret Santa. Do it. Reach out if you need directions to get to the form we have that you can fill out to be a part of it. So,
and reach out if you need help. If you need help with anything, all you need is 4 sample bottles, I will send you 4 empty sample bottles.
We want you to be a part of this.
Yeah, if you're struggling to figure out just what to use as your fourth bottle for somebody, hit us up and we'll let you know what sounds good.
Take care of you. Yep. So, and we want to put it in such a way that like everyone benefits, wildly from this awesome thing. Because I have a feeling everyone's really going to show up when they give. So that's how you know you're going to get some good stuff. So. Let's talk about Sazerac 18, the 2023 vintage. This is actually our second episode regarding Sazerac 18 here. It's potentially the most rare member of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection throughout the years. Otherwise, it's likely the top two. We drank the 2020 release on episode 119. That was a long time ago, over 3 years ago. But I'm really excited about this one because in 2020, Robbie and I unanimously called Saz 18 the winner of the 2020 BTAC lineup. It was our favorite pour out of all of them. Okay, so let's talk about Saz 18 within the BTAC history real quick. Some of you may know this, but the original lineup of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, as we call it, the BTAC, circa 2000, had no cast strength options. Did you know that, Bryan?
No, I did not.
No cast strength varieties there. That's right. No George T. Stagg, no William LaRue Weller, and no Thomas H. Handy. There were 3 bottles originally, though, all representing a different style of whiskeys, but all 90 proof. There was Eagle Rare 17, a minimum 17-year rye recipe bourbon, Mashbill number 1, at 90 proof. There was Weller 19.
Ooh.
A friggin' 19-year-old wheat recipe bourbon at 90 proof. And there was another special bottle, Sazerac 18, an 18-year rye whiskey at 90 proof. It wasn't until years past that William LaRue Weller 19 became William LaRue Weller, which was, somewhere between a 12 and 15-year cast strength wheated bourbon. And George T. Stagg was added, and Eagle Rare 17, although there from the beginning, is now 101 proof. Which brings me to my next question. I've wondered for a while. Buffalo Trace is known for 4 distinct mash bills: a wheated bourbon, the rye mash bill number 1, or the high rye mash bill number 1, and then I'm sorry, the rye. What the crap? The rye mash bill number 1, which is a low rye recipe mash bill bourbon. And then there's mash bill number 2, which is a higher rye mash bill or bourbon mash bill. And then otherwise there's the rye mash bill. That's why I read it wrong. Because there's the wheated bourbon, the rye mash bill, and then the mash bill number 1 and 2, which are both rye recipe bourbons. 3 of those 4 mash bills are represented in the antique collection. And if you're not aware, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection is a special yearly release collection from Buffalo Trace that is one of the most sought-after collections of whiskey in all the whiskey world. Some big whiskey fans may never get their hands on a bottle. Truth. The supply is low, and every year the demand is out of this world these days, especially. So anyway, 3 out of the 4 mash bills are accounted for. There's Eagle Rare 17 and George T. Stagg, both use mash bill number 1. Thomas H. Handy and Sazerac 18, what we're drinking today, are both the rye mash bills. And then William LaRue Weller is the wheated mash bill. Mark my words, though, regarding mash bill number 2, the one left out. Mark my words, on this very day, within the next 5 years, there will be a 6th bottle. I know it. They're totally going to do it. In the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, that will either be an ultra-aged mash bill number 2, or will be a decently aged cast strength mash bill number 2 bourbon from Buffalo Trace. But what will they name it? Who knows? Anyway, so what we're drinking today has been in the collection since year 1 in 2000. But as I mentioned last episode, we did Sazerac 18. It hasn't always been unique every year. Interesting. From 2005 to 2015, they had the exact same whiskey in the bottle. So if you're like collecting like years of Sazerac 18, you might as well just get all the same one or something like that. Because in 2005, they literally steel tanked the amount of rye whiskey they made that was an 18-year rye. And no one exactly knows why, but it was a really killer year. 2005 Whiskey Advocate magazine gave it the American Whiskey of the Year. But here's my thought: like Buffalo Trace, don't stop trying, don't stop working towards it. Don't just steel tank it. Make it release them all and then make more next year. But it takes 18 years to age an 18-year whiskey, so that's one of the hard things. But anyway, they did the same thing from 2016 to 2018 on a different batch, which I thought was interesting. And I don't know why they did not have didn't they have barrels prepped for every year? Like, don't they plan ahead for that kind of stuff? Anyway. But starting in 2019, each batch has been unique since. Every year gets a different batch, at least since then. So I've had the 2014, which was a part of that original total 2005 to 2015 batches, and it was phenomenal, incredible. I remember notes in 2020. The last time we tried this of syrupy strawberry syrup and very delicate. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And so here's some details. Besides, Buffalo Trace actually gives notes on tasting notes. I told Bryan this week, and I try to avoid tasting notes, just even on my own time. If I'm reading through a review on something, I'll see what they think of it, but I will try to avoid notes because I want to develop my own. I don't want to be like, oh yes, terracotta or something like that. So what Buffalo Trace mentioned was it was barreled either in the fall of 2004 or in the spring of 2005. So it is truly 18 years this year. And the fall of 2004 was when I entered high school. So if that gives you any context there. And some of the stock, 2005.
You know what? You know what? A while back, you asked me how old I was or something, and then I never asked you how old are you?
I'm 33 this year.
33.
How old are you?
37.
36. Okay, cool.
7? I think 37.
Quality year.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 2005.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so we would have been the same high school together.
Yeah, freshman, senior, dealio.
Yeah. Yours a little, were you 87? Born 87?
86. I was older for my year.
Yeah. Okay. So you're right between my two oldest sisters.
Gotcha.
So yes. Aged in warehouses K, L, and M. The previous release was the 2022 release was given the gold medal in the 2023 American Whiskey Masters. Don't know anything about that competition, but good for that. 90 proof, the lowest proof in the antique collection these days. And of course, it's an 18-year, but sometimes it's more. Like Eagle Rare 17 might be a 19-year. And let's talk about that for a second. So this year, they're really big into this being the oldest Eagle Rare 17 yet. The one you helped me get, the 2014, is also a 19-year.
Oh, wow.
It's just it's like a month or two less than the 2023.
That's good to know.
But yeah, there's plenty of there's actually at least two other 19-year Eagle Rare 17s. I guess this one just took the cake. Maybe even in a matter of days, but that's funny to me. Anyway, of course it's I just said that. And then the retail price, if you're lucky. Actually, did you get yours at retail? Yes, not yours, but did you get your antique collection bottles at retail last year?
I got my George T. Stagg at retail, or maybe $10 over retail.
Yeah,
and then I do have a Thomas H. Handy too, which nice. I was at first I was like, oh, I'll entry buzz on Thomas H. Handy, so it'll be BTAC and BTAC. But then I was like, nah, the higher proof, and I
would have done it if mine weren't empty.
I figured Saz and Saz, and actually I'm purposefully keeping a little bit here for me to be able to kind of sip and smell after the Saz 18 just to see.
Yeah.
But anyway, I traded for the Thomas H. Handy. I had a Weller single barrel.
Nice.
And a buddy of mine had.
Where'd you get that?
I had Total Wine raffle, actually. Total Wine lottery.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I hear they're not as worth it. As I traded mine as well.
Oh, Weller
the Weller single barrel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
they're rare.
I've heard it's like the most disappointing of the entire deal.
Yeah.
I've heard CYPB's actually pretty good, like fine for what it is. But I've heard Weller single barrel is like, why does this even exist?
Wow. And it's just they only put out so much a year. It's a yearly release too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we both traded ours.
Yep.
But I got an Eagle Rare 17 from 2014, baby. Not for the exact same trade, but yeah, it was part of the trade.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to our co-host Bryan Rat for helping me with that. So,
oh yeah, that was.
What do you say we pour this? Okay, so I have a confession to make, Bryan. I had the greatest intentions with sharing this sample bottle with you.
Yeah.
And I knew that the bottle literally says 100 milliliters on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, 100 milliliters is approximately like 3.5. Yeah, 3.5-ish ounces. And so I poured you just about 1.75 ounces. But then I look at this bottle and I got more than half in there. But I didn't realize that until today, for the record. So I feel bad.
Yeah. No, we're good. I mean, that bottle shaped so skinny.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, you're saying they might have overfilled the bottle. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm new. You are the tenured, esteemed host here. If anybody should be getting a little bit more.
Well, either way, I'm going to enjoy every sip of it.
I undoubtedly will.
All right.
The generosity is unparalleled here for a mere mortal like me to get my hands on this. So I appreciate it.
You know, I reached out to you this week and made a joke about the perks of being a podcast host, and they are real. They are really real. And shout out,
is.
Okay, so I haven't mentioned this, but yes, we have been sent Sazerac 18 sample from Buffalo Trace. So, and of course, we do objective reviews, but you got to shout them out because thank you so much, Sazerac.
Thank you.
And Buffalo Trace for sending this over because holy crap, how often do you get to sip Sazerac 18 before it's even released, basically? It smells so good. Wow. So I love Baby Saz. Even the nose on Baby Saz is like perfect, but there is a depth to this that is phenomenal.
This is
I could shove my nose in there all day.
Okay, what whiskey would you chose last week? We were talking about campfire whiskeys.
Yeah.
And both of our minds immediately went to barrel proof, high proof. But this is, even though this is, you said 90 proof, right?
90 proof.
It has substance to it. This could really hold its own against a fire pit for sure.
Yeah. A note I got at first is a fruity candy. No fruit in particular, but like a hard candy. Now, I'm not talking about like Starburst or something like that. I'm talking about like something you get at your grandma's house that is fruity and hard candy, but is nothing like no fruit in particular.
And that's it's grounded with a carameliness.
Yeah, like
and
soft.
It's a carameliness that I get off the Baby Saz too, but there is so much more bright fruit. There's so much more sweet fruit on the Saz.
But I think bright is still a good representation of this too.
Yeah, because I mean the Baby Saz is bright, if you will, too.
Yes,
but this one bright. This smells like literal candy. It smells like,
it really does.
Hard candy
with
a little bit of milky caramel.
What it would smell like.
Yeah, right. Where it's like you feel like you're just walking through like the smell of it is just permeating and you're like wading through a thick smell.
And the snozberries, they taste like or they smell like snozberries at least. No, I guess they taste because they licked the wall, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not ready to sip this. This is such a good nose.
I know. I was just telling some friends too. I was like, well, it depends. You know, sometimes when I pour something really good, sometimes I'll nose it for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I'll just not even want to drink it yet. I'm just not ready yet. I could keep smelling this all night.
Yeah. So Bryan and I, when we reached out to Buffalo Trace, they gave us the option. They said we got Stag, we got Handy, and we got Saz 18. And so Handy was out the with those two other choices, like Handy's not even an option. It's great, 6.5-year cask strength rye, it's amazing. But when you're between George T. Stag and William LaRue, or not William LaRue, Sazerac 18 and the Thomas H. Handy, Handy is the short stick or the short straw. But it was a question. It was like, all right, what do people want to hear? And they might want to hear about Stag because it's potentially easier to find because it's a little more available. But we also wanted to do something a little different than because a lot of people are taking the Stag option in the whiskey media world. And so we wanted to go, and I was happy to go either way, but I'm glad I went this way because so far this nose is on fire, but not hot way. Like I could go at this nose and it's still great. Oh, that brought in some notes that weren't there before.
I'm getting a little pepper now on the nose. Still only nosing, but just a light pepper, not like a big peppercorn or anything.
Okay. Not quite. Do you know what elderberry? You ever had Saint Germain?
I'm not sure. I've just straight up had elderberry.
Anywhere. But you ever had Saint Germain liqueur?
Liqueur? No. No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so it's not like strong elderberry. It's really not. But it's like the brightness you would get from elderberry, as well as the slightest, not in a old fashioned way, but more in like a fresh, bright way, like an orange peel, tiny bit.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, so good. I'm gonna go for a sip though.
Yeah, I did sip already. Mm-hmm. I'll try to lag behind your own opinions you're formulating so I don't influence you, but I'll say right away, it didn't hit me like I thought it was going to right away. It was thin immediately.
Yep.
So I was like, wait, is this it? But then it just started to just
it really does.
And and similar to the other antique collections, technically I've had all of them now. Similar to the other ones, they are so special to me because the finish just evolves. You'll taste something and then 5 seconds later, you'll taste something else. And then the finish really starts after that. And then if it's the 2022 George T. Stag, it goes to another level after that. But it's just, it goes and goes with tons of flavor. It's all light fruit flavors to me. With it, not a whole lot of rye spice. But if you've ever had Baby Saz, the same kind of how Baby Saz doesn't really have a lot of rye spice either. So it's a lot of light fruitiness for me that evolves and evolves.
Yeah, that's the story of this one. Like I'm still reeling from this finish. Oh man, that's good. So I you want to compare it to something? I don't know if I can compare this to anything. It is delicate though. Like floral, fruity, delicate. Hard candy, but as if it were like candy or cotton candy or something like that. It's just like it's wispy.
Yeah.
It is
wispy and light.
But you're right. The lightness up front is like, wait, is this all I'm getting from it? Like this doesn't even match the nose. But then the finish, man. But it's still like wispy and light. But like if as far as light whiskeys go, this is probably one of the best I've ever had. Not like light whiskey, but like lighter whiskeys. Oh man.
Yeah, that mouthfeel off the bat is a little watery almost. Like you really don't get anything.
Little disappointing
right away in your it's super thin.
Yeah.
But I took a bigger sip, tons of hard candy, sweet. I love the idea of like a cotton candy sugar because it is light and wispy. When you got me thinking when you said floral, but I mean in a
like
delicate
honeysuckle
way.
Floral rather than like rose floral. Yeah.
Totally get that.
This is good.
And yeah, I can taste the cherry hard candy.
Cherry, totally.
It's been a minute or more, and back of my palate, I can still get it.
I mean, okay. Trying to think of what I can relate this to, but you ever just like, I don't know. Trying to think of what the best way to put this. But is that appropriate?
Oh appropriate. Boy. My in-laws listen to this.
Yeah. You ever just, okay, I'm just going to put it this way. You ever just like make sweet, sweet cuddles with your wife and then just cuddle up and just be the little spoon? This is the one.
You're taking the comfort angle here. I get you.
Yeah, no, it's 100% that. Like it is like it is like restful. Like you want to like chill with this one. Like you want to you don't want to go for you don't want to go out to war after this pour. Like you want to just cuddle in for the night after this pour.
It is rare that I want to just let the finish go. Usually I'm like, I've forgotten about it and I'm like, okay, I'll take another sip, I guess. But I'm like, I'm letting the finish go because I'm excited to see if anything else happens before I take my next sip.
Exactly. Like it just keeps going. Still a great nose with some water drops.
I tried to go really light on my water drops. Yeah, I only had a smidge here, but and I'll go really light on my ice too because I'm afraid, pretty scared of adding ice.
Still great nose. I think it didn't improve it, but it's still fantastic nose.
I'm not getting as much sweet candy on the nose.
I am. There's a slight difference to it. But I'd say if you got this at a bar, don't add water. I mean, it might be fantastic on the palate. So we'll let you know. We'll let you know. Is it gonna be better now? Let's find out. Let's give it the old swig.
Kind of more floral, maybe, on the palate. It's I might have convinced myself with a little less candy sweetness angle earlier, but it's reminded me of like a Four Roses lighter summertime.
Yeah.
The finish, I'll take a bigger sip next time, but the finish isn't lasting as long as it did without water. Yeah.
What's one of your favorite notes?
Oh, tobacco.
Are you getting any of that here?
Earthy tobacco.
Not earthy tobacco, but are you getting any sort of smoky wispiness of a cigar or something?
So smoky wispy is why I said campfire earlier. I'm not sure I explicitly said that, but it just, there was something about it that smelled like thicker, like smoke. Yeah. But definitely love a good peanut note too. So I'm a Jim Beam homer. I do love my Knob Creek and stuff like that. Bookers.
Not better with water, but still good. There was a bite that came on with a little bit of water. I don't know about you, but it was like not as well-rounded.
Yeah.
Like it's like a little bit of cut there.
That sweetness is just gone for me. I'm missing that sweetness. And so neat is clear winner over water to me. But the finish is still hanging in there, though. I'll say even with water, the finish is holding its own.
All right. I dropped a cube. Giving it the old spin J. Making this whiskey mighty dizzy. I'll do some Matt Porter looks at the glass as he spins it. Matt's great.
Third episode in a row mentioning Matt Porter.
Oh, really?
Third episode.
I don't even keep count. Love the guy. Oh crap! I just spilled some. Do you see that?
Oh, you would.
No, but it was like minimal. Minimal.
Okay, sure. You gotta lick it up.
Ooh, great nose.
I'm saving this much for a neat pour at the end of it.
Oh, you might as well. Yeah, I'm gonna. I got this much myself. Yeah.
All right. My old.
It's a little muted.
My baby.
It's still bright to me. I have a feeling this will kill the palate though. I'm just getting this vibe from the nose that like the palate's gonna be like too bitey, and kind of not like bringing out the best in this one. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna swirl and let this chill real quick, and I'm gonna sip real quick here. I don't want the ice to dilute it too much. I just want it to be cold, so I'm gonna start chugging.
It became a bad whiskey to me.
Okay, wait. The nose is really, really sweet to me now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but now like suddenly I can't smell anything anymore.
I just ruined this amazing pour with ice. Don't put ice in your Sazerac 18, listeners. If you ever get the option, decide not to. It's not. It's like suddenly not good to me.
The light pepper note is dominant now to me.
Yep,
and
like a white
that's kind of all
yeah.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just light pepper bitterness. That's it. Sorry, we ruined it, Buffalo Trace. If you're still watching, we super appreciate it. Left. But this is the methodology. This is what we do.
That's how we help our listeners to find out to never try Sazerac 18 2023 with ice.
Yeah.
Oh,
unless you,
I
like
even
pepper.
to give my rating, I got to pour this neat again because
I'll go.
That was bad. And I'll cleanse my palate with Sazerac 6.
Oh yeah.
Good old baby Saz. Okay. Oh, that was bad. Like, I hate to say it, but that was bad. Like, if I had to make a rating on the ice pour, it would be like less than a 5.
The baby Saz has more caramel, I think,
and apples to me.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. It hardly. It's got a little pepper finish, a little, but it's not like it's a typical whiskey finish.
Yeah,
the Saz 18 finish is like blow your mind, and you will continue to taste fruit for minutes. Rather than like an alcohol burn with some brown sugariness or whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, ratings.
Yeah. I'm thinking, and I'm pouring the neat. Did you already sip your neat again?
Not yet. I'm gonna give myself a little time.
Oh yeah, quick question while we're final evaluating here. Did I hear you correctly that the Saz 18 and the Thomas H. Handy is the same mash bill? It is just the rye mash bill,
should
right?
Be. Yeah, there's only one rye mash bill unless they're doing something funky like on a EH. Although in the EH tailors they don't do anything funky with rye recipes.
EH tailor straight rye.
It's the same mash bill
as far as Thomas H. Handy and Saz 18 and everything. Yeah, because they presumably only have one rye mash bill.
Yep.
It's opposite ends of the spectrum here. The Saz 18 is a low proof high age, and the Thomas H. Handy is a high proof low age.
Yeah, 6.5 years isn't much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I'm on in general, I think I'm on team high proof low age. I mean, it is Thomas H. Handy is still special too.
You would prefer Handy to this?
I think so.
If it were just okay,
I'll sip Handy after.
They were valued the same.
Oh, right. Because Handy is valued less.
It's a lot easier to find. Yeah.
Yeah. In general,
you would go Handy.
Man, if they were valued the same, maybe not actually.
Okay.
But Handy is typically less than half the cost
on
of
the secondary
Saz 18. Yeah.
What is Saz 18 run for these days for like a more recent year?
Saz 18, Eagle Rare 17, and William Lou Weller are always right about the same, and that is right about 1,400. Yeah. Well, actually, if it's hot and brand new, it's probably 1,500. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again, Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, sure, sir.
God, the nose on
So
the
what was
knees.
your determination there? Was you'd prefer Handy or Saz 18 to at the same value?
I will tell you after I take this sip.
Okay.
Have you ever had E.H. Taylor rye?
Heck yeah. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had their barrel proof rye? Yeah, no one has.
I know, right? Dude, I should have entry buzzed on E.H. Taylor rye. What am I doing?
Well, like, you know what I'm joking about though? Like, it was last year's E.H. Taylor release was supposed to be their barrel proof rye, and I've never seen one. Not even on like Instagram.
I've never seen one either. I didn't even know that was a thing.
No. Last year they announced it. They're like, this year for our special edition E.H. Taylor, we're doing a barrel proof rye.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
No. I didn't even see the press release. I didn't see anything.
I believe there even was a press release. Yeah. And then they're like, you know what? We'll just pretend we did. And like even those like certain Instagram pages you see where they like get every friggin' bottle, and you're like, crap, man, why can't I get a bottle like that? No, I didn't even see media samples. I didn't see a thing regarding that bottle. Never saw one.
They just knew that it would be so coveted that they were like, everyone will just assume that they didn't qualify for media samples.
That might have been it. Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, there was like the last one was the Warehouse C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
did they announce it on April Fool's Day,
ago.
maybe? April Fool's Day?
Maybe. But it's a fall release. So it's like yeah, but they haven't even announced the EHL this year. So I'm like, what the crap? It's probably gonna be Double George Very Stag, you know what I'm saying?
I love that joke so much.
It just keeps coming back.
Love it. All right. I am rating formulating, but
I think I got mine.
I will say
go first?
I think I'm team Thomas H. Handy over Saz 18. Which is good.
It's funny you say that because the first time I ever had Saz 18, I drank it with Trevor, and he ordered the Handy, and I ordered the Saz 18, and we both loved what we had. And we tried each other's, of course, but we both preferred the one we ordered.
Perfect.
And I stand by that, as I would take Saz 18. But I'm an Eagle Rare 17 kind of guy. Like, I don't need it to be like, I do enjoy a high proof whiskey, but I don't need it to be a bomb of proof.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, it's Hubba What.
Yeah, no doubt.
The finish, when a whiskey has a finish, when a whiskey has two finishes, it instantly qualifies for Hubba What. When you taste something and then you taste something else and it just keeps going for minutes, it's instantly Hubba What. This, for me, though, personally, falls above 9, but I think 9.3. I'm going to go 9.3. It is
that's good.
Super tasty. There's not a single thing wrong with it. There's not a single bad note to pick out.
On the neat.
Yeah, on the neat. Yeah. And it just it's got the finish that goes for days that is extremely pleasant and enjoyable. And the only thing that keeps it at a 9.3 instead of being higher is my own personal preferences for liking intensity. This doesn't have intensity, but if you like less intense things, you're gonna love this.
Totally. What the Handy that you have? Is it open, and what year is it?
Oh yeah, it's half gone already. Nice. I only opened it like a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
I think it's the 2020.
Okay, so if it is, that's the one we hated. Not hated. That's the one we most disliked in 2020.
So I always get it backwards, and I'm pretty sure I verified one time that it is the one that you didn't have.
Okay, and so 2021 probably.
Well, yeah, sorry. 2019 and 2020, I can't ever remember. So it's the one that you didn't have.
Okay, cool. We're down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think a sample's on its way to you, actually. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm excited. We'll have to do that one. And then you also were able to send to the courier the George C. Stagg. Anyway,
for sure.
But we were saying, no, you answered that. This is beautiful finish on this whiskey. So I'm gonna go 9.4 here.
Nice.
I think this is like, if I can get to a 9.5, that's like some of the best I've ever had. I think my top score ever is 9.7. So 9.4 is saying something great. I love it. I'm gonna hold on to this little dregs right here and probably share it with someone awesome.
Nice. Do you remember what 9.7 was?
9.7 was seasoned wood, E.H. Taylor.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Holy crap! Have you ever had that?
No, God, no.
My goodness. Unreal.
Those weird E.H. Taylor releases, those are unicorns.
Oh, yeah.
Like
so
multiple layers of unicornity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. It's like cardinality. It's so I tried it at a bar one time and it was amazing, but the time I got to we got to do it on the podcast was actually a Brandon Hunt joint. He shared some of his bottle, and the funny thing is that he had the whole lineup of E.H. Taylor, but he hadn't tried anyone. They were all sealed bottles, but he went ahead and got himself on the secondary. Went ahead and got himself another seasoned wood because I was repping it so hard, and he's like, "Yeah,
dang.
dude, this is all it's cracked up to be."
Oh, dang.
And he cracked it with me. Yeah, it was crazy.
Nice.
And he actually gave me I told him he's just a good friend. Like, the thing about Brandon Hunt is, like, he'd be like, dude, like, he's a real guy. Like, he which is what I love about him. You can show up and be like, dude, like, I told him before we told the whole world, I was like, dude, we're pregnant and we're gonna have a baby. And he's like, here, have the rest. Or like, it was like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of his seasoned wood bottle. He's like, do this, do it on your podcast, celebrate with me. Celebrate this. And he's that kind of guy. Like, he's just like,
that's awesome. Yeah. I think
he shared with me an OFC. Did I tell you that?
Oh, dang.
A 93 OFC with me. And it was good. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fantastic, but it wasn't like $2,000 worth.
Yeah,
but it was good. Like, I got to try a friggin' OFC with that dude.
That's crazy.
And he's got he shared so many good things with me. But anyway, 9.4.
Nice.
I think it's surprising that the front of the palate is so lame because the finish makes up for everything. So that's saying something. Is like 9.4 with a lousy front of the palate says a lot about the finish of Sazerac 18. So if you can find yourself a bottle, I would pay $600 for a bottle like this.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Because that's that puts it about Thomas H. Handy value, where I tend to favor Thomas H. Handy. Yeah.
Is that what they run for? That's a shame. But they're less aged and much more available. So
right.
Yeah. Love this. I love the candiness. I love the fruitiness. I love it reminds me of just those. Do you remember when what was it? It wasn't Altoids. It was like in a tin. You can get these fruity candies in a tin. It wasn't like Altoids or anything like that, but it was like something else. I don't know where you can get them, but they're like, you can go to like World Market and find something like this.
Nice.
Anyway,
we love World Market over here.
Oh, it's great. We got most of our furniture from there.
Oh, nice. We
got our hutch from there. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll grab some bag of chips I've never seen before and some beer I've never seen before. And that's just like, that's why we go to World Market.
Do you like root beer?
I do, but yeah, Sam always gets Stroop waffles there. But
nice.
Yeah. So what? Do they have some root beer there or something?
So okay, so one of my favorite brands, actually, you can get it easily in Phoenix.
Bundaberg.
No, go ahead. Bundaberg? No, ginger beer. Yes.
Oh,
I've actually never had their root beer. Is it really good?
No, I haven't either.
Okay.
I've had like everything else they do. But
beer. Bundaberg easily. But my favorite used to be in the root beer department, a company called Henry Weinhard's. And they're out of like California or something like that. They're like a brewery, but they also do some root beer. But then the best that beat them out. And so one of the best things about Henry Weinhard's is it's got like this note of wintergreen throughout like the rest of it. It's like a slight tinge of wintergreen, which is like fantastic with a good root beer.
Right.
But then I found another brand that does it even better, like the same thing, but just amp it up like 10%.
Nice.
And that's Bulldog. And they're 100% cane sugar as opposed to Henry Weinhard's uses corn syrup on theirs.
I've seen Bulldog around. Yeah.
Dude, Bulldog is like I like will buy it off Amazon for like I'll buy like 12 for $40.
Yeah.
And I will enjoy them all. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So Bulldog's my number one. And you can usually get it at World Market, but if you can't, you can actually get it at Albertsons. Which is not everywhere, but in Phoenix, there's plenty of Albertsons. So
nice.
Yeah, highly recommend you try it out.
So yeah, and one last, you were saying, it speaks volumes of the finish of this to be to compensate for the palate so much.
Totally.
I still taste this like I sipped it like a minute ago, but it's been like 5 minutes or more.
Yeah,
I can still taste all of the candy cherry. It's the finish is phenomenal on this.
Yeah, just don't try with water or ice, or with ice especially. Oh my goodness, right. It was like terrible with ice to me. Okay, now that we've talked about rating, we've given our rating. It's a good rating, and with that, we'll send it to our next segment of the show that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This part of the show is called Whiskey World News. We're going to read an article. Didn't write it, gonna read it. Today's article comes from Breaking Bourbon, and the article was written by the entire team. The entire team took turns writing this article. The title of the article is Old Forester releases its rarest bottle ever, the 150th Brown-Forman decanter.
Oh, I saw this.
Published.
I didn't know it was an Old Forester joint, though. I thought it was just like a Brown-Forman joint.
Well, so the bottle does just say Brown-Forman on it. But apparently, technically, it's an Old Forester release. But
that's cool.
Earlier today, they just put this out and they say Old Forester is releasing the rarest bottle it has ever produced, a decanter to honor the brand's 150th anniversary, filled with extraordinarily exquisite 12-and-a-half-year-old bourbon.
Wow.
Only 2/3 the age of what we just drank. So 500 bottles were originally crafted for members of the Brown family who own Brown-Forman and key partners of the company. 150 were set aside for special tastings and events at the company, but that was back in 2012. And those 150 bottles remained in storage because of the global pandemic. So now Old Forester is offering them to the public. The decanter, priced at $2,500, goes on sale today only at oldforester.com.
Oh, so you could actually get it if you're fast.
Yeah. Wow. No bottles will be sold at the distillery. People who purchase the bottle can only pick them up on December 5, which is the anniversary of the repeal of Prohibition. The bottle purchase includes a private VIP tour of the Old Forester distillery, along with cocktails and appetizers with members of the Brown family. So I bet that tour is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it looks like on April 18, 2008, Master Distiller Chris Morris hand-selected 6 barrels for the special decanter. It was bottled 150 months later, 12.5 years, in 2020. Warehouse J, Top Floor 8, Rick 44, Tier 1, if you're extremely familiar with the Old Forester barrel.
Yeah. Yes, my favorite Rick.
Yes, I remember standing there looking up at Rick 44, Tier 1. That's pretty much it, though. So tell me how you feel about a $2,500 12.5-year whiskey.
Wait, there were how many available to the public? 150?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way, it was sold out instantly. There were immediately 150 people willing to buy this bottle. So when this news article went live, people immediately bought them, and they're all gone now.
So you also said that Chris Morris picked them before they were aged. Is that right?
Yeah. So 2008, he hand selected 6 barrels, and that is That was 15 years ago. It says on April 18th,
he picked them
2008.
before they aged. But also, it was 15 years ago, but he said he picked them in 2020, right?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Because they sat in glass bottles since 2020.
Yeah.
So he must have picked these like right when it was distilled. What's up with that?
I have a feeling they're not great. Or I have a feeling they're not spectacular.
Yeah.
If because you pick them after they age. You don't pick them before they age.
Yeah, or while they age.
Yeah.
Multiple times just to make sure. But yeah, you look at the bottle's pretty sweet looking. I think cool. I read somewhere the wooden case is made from reclaimed wood from an old distillery building or something.
Oh, cool.
So people buying this bottle are buying it for the heritage and the collector's item,
or for the collector. Yeah,
nobody's opening this bottle because if they did, they'd be extremely disappointed.
I have a feeling anything you spend $2,500 on would be disappointing.
So yeah.
What was the recent one? There was like it was the Eagle Rare 25 or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see an MSRP for that. Have you yet?
Oh, it was like 20,000, wasn't it?
Oh, what?
It was like stupid. Yeah. No, but it was like understandable in a way. Yeah, there was totally MSRP. It was like, but it was like either 12,000 or 20,000 or something like that.
It must have just been so ridiculous I forgot about it right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just blocked it out of your head.
I'm not going to sell my car for this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll still be making payments on it. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought that said a lot actually when it said he selected them before they were aged, or before they were even close to aged.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking for a really tasty product, yeah, Old Forester's got some good stuff, but don't expect that to be better than some of their other stuff, in my opinion.
Which is weird because they didn't need to say that.
Yeah, they didn't need to say
when he selected them, but it's like, yeah, he tasted this coming right off the still and was like, this is special.
I'm going to set these barrels aside.
Yeah, right. I love the way this came
13, 12 years or whatever. Yeah.
This moonshine is fantastic.
Seriously, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm glad you read it, and I'm glad I caught it.
Yeah,
because that's different. Weird. Yeah. So, all right. Let's go over last week's results for what whiskey would you choose. The question was originally, what is your go-to fire pit whiskey? Sitting around a fire, drinking some goodies. I said Redbreast 12 cask strength, my go-to camping whiskey, which counts in this case. Brian, did you pick a batch? You just said General Booker's, right?
Any Booker's.
Any Booker's, yeah. It's nice and peanutty. And you won. You won 55 to 45%.
Ooh, close one.
Which I thought was good.
If I hadn't voted for myself there, we might have tied.
Yeah, if I had voted for myself, yeah. If I had voted for you, we would have tied. Or no, I got you. Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Never mind.
Yeah, you got this.
We asked the crowd, and we got low class, high proof. He gave Bruichladdich Port Charlotte 10-year, I believe. We got Manoog 23. That's Manuel something. I forget. What is his name? I gotta look this up because he's been hitting us up a little bit more lately.
Ooh, nice.
Manuel. Anyway, Manoog 23. He said Delbach Dorada or Winter Release / Ode to Isla.
Ooh,
good choice for a fire pit.
He's a fan enough. He knows that it was Winter Release.
Exactly. Yeah, I have a good feeling about this Manoog guy. Madtown Marketer, that's Ben Klepsig, said Alberta Premium Cask Strength. Heard that recently, Ben. No, I'm kidding. It's a good answer. I couldn't deny it. Actually, that'd be really good. I realized I have a full bottle of that, and I think I mentioned that.
Is it 63.6? Do you remember what the proof is? I
think it's 63.5.
Or maybe I just don't quite remember. But whatever it was that was the batch after we did drink-alongs and everything. I think
it was a really good batch.
The next batch, I passed on it, but I heard that it was better than the previous batch.
Oh, really?
And I was a little bit sad. But
talk about Candy Rye. That's a good one. We got Paul Clarkson said Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Good answer as well. Joel and Emma 09. Hey, that's Joel Bradbury. He said Lefroy Glore. Good answer. Got to have smoke with the smoke, baby.
Yeah, I
Love
know, right?
it, Joel. We got Marco and AZ said Wilderness Trail rye or any rare breed, bourbon or rye. Good answer, too. He also said, correction, MB Roland Dark Fire Bourbon, which we got to do. We got to do that one, I think. And it was good. And then another Elijah Craig Barrel Proof from Embellish Pod, John Hughes. So
nice. Yeah.
This week, I alluded to it in our history, but let's just assume that Buffalo Trace is going to add a 6th bottle. We've talked about this before, but let's make it a little more clear. They're going to add a 6th bottle. It's going to be a mash bill number 2. You know what was on mash bill number 2, Brian?
I did Google it just to make sure that I remembered what all's on there. Yeah.
The big one is
Elmer T. Lee.
Yep,
Rock Hill
but
Farms.
also but yeah, like the big ones. But like the standard one is
blends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You get Elmer T. Lee, Rock Hill Farms. What is it? Ancient Age, I believe.
Correct.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing on the NT collection with mash bill number 2. But there will be. Don't mark my words. There will be. and maybe it's a high proof, low age or medium age, or maybe it's a ultra aged 90 proof. What are they going to name it?
I'm going to let you go first because I know you have an idea. I'm going to let you go first because I'm curious if you're going to say what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say Albert B. Blanton's, and the B is for bacon, in case you're wondering.
For real? Bacon?
Because that's literally his middle name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe they should just call it Bacon Blanton's.
Or just bacon. This is the bacon bourbon. Yeah. So I'm leaning towards that above Elmer T. Lee because he's not old enough yet. Like he just passed away only in the last 10, 12 years or 15 years or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Albert B. Blanton's.
Nice.
There's Stag, and there's Stag, but then there's also George T. Stag. So it's kind of like that. We got Blanton's, but we also got Albert B. Blanton's. So
Albert B. Blanton's.
It's gonna be a beautiful bottle.
Prediction on age and proof?
I'm gonna go high proof, low age, or high age, low proof. So I'm gonna go like 18 year and 90 proof.
Yeah.
On that one.
Yeah, because Blanton's straight from the barrel exists already, I guess. So that makes perfect sense.
But it's also not like hyper aged. What is like Blanton's straight from the barrel is like at least not even 10 years.
No, it's definitely not 10 years. Yeah. It's got to be like 7 plus or minus 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Based on my expert tasting opinion. No, I don't actually know. But all right, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to elevate this to the next level. Your
level.
Your guess. You chose the name of an existing product. Yeah. So your guess is going to encompass existing products. Totally. And my guess is going to encompass anything else outside of the world of existing.
I like that. But it's still a mash bill number 2.
But it's still a mash bill number 2. But what they're going to do is they're going to call it the Freddie Johnson.
Ooh, I would drink that.
So, and I wish I knew what his middle initial was, so I could say Freddie P. Johnson.
Probably because baller. B for baller.
Freddie B. Johnson. The Freddie Baller Johnson. It's gonna be a medium age, low proof because they got to do Freddie. Right. Freddie Johnson is like a legendary tour guide.
Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
Tour.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I am absolutely team tour. I'm happy to carry this through to the finish line.
That's right.
Got to do that Instagram poll to see if people say
that's right.
or tour.
I think we did once.
I think we
but we need to do it again.
Yeah. Now that I need to know who my tour buddies are because we're going on tour to see Freddie Johnson.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Freddie.
I bet we can hook that up too. When we do our Frankfurt tour, I will make sure Freddie's on the list
for sure. But the newest mash bill number 2 BTAC is going to be Freddie Baller Johnson. It's going to be 12 year. Okay. It's going to be 107 proof. It's basically going to be lot B.
Nice,
but it's going to be
mash bill number 2. Rye mash bill.
Yeah, that's right.
That's great. I like that. 107, baby. Is Lot B 107?
I can't remember I can't remember.
I want to say it's less than 100.
I can't remember if that was what's the other one? Rip Van Winkle, old Rip.
Old Rip, 10-year. I think the old Rip is older than, or is higher proof.
Lot B is Happy 15 is 107. Lot B is 90.4, and old Rip is, I don't really care.
Yeah, who cares? Trade that, John. Trade it immediately.
Right. I'll tell you what, though, the Total Wine Q4 lottery is live, and I'm in. And if I get a Pappy 15, I'm opening that for sure.
It's so good.
Yeah, I bet it.
Have you ever had it?
No, I've never had any Pappies.
So you haven't had any Pappies?
Not a one. I haven't had any Pappies. I haven't had any Van Winkles.
Welcome to the podcast.
Haven't had any of those, but I've had every Buffalo Trace Antique collection.
Yeah, you have, my man. And so with that, we normally put it up this week to a Two Pick Tuesday. But we have a special. Did we mention what we're drinking next week? Not at all. Okay. Should we mention it?
Yes. I want to
let's mention it. So remember when we did an episode, just single episode, me and Nick from Found North. They had batch 7 out. It was delicious. It was amazing. Hey, guess what? Batch 8's out, and we're bringing on Nick again, me and Bryan. So we're gonna have a fun time next week. And we're gonna have Nick on again. Actually, we got so much good feedback from the Nick episode that I'm stoked to have him back, because he was so easy to talk to and so easy to just talk whiskey to.
And before I forget, I got a list of questions going already, and
he's good at that.
Saying this on the air, hot. You get no choice, but I think it'd be fun to poll the audience and ask if they have any questions for us.
Let's do it.
Want us to ask Nick Taylor.
So we better do it quick, because we're recording on Monday. So.
Definitely. Let's get that out tomorrow. People will be listening to this and they'll be like, this came out 4 days ago. What are you talking about?
Late. Yeah. I'm stoked about that. And that's what I loved about Nick, is like we could talk whiskey easily, but then I could ask so many dumb questions, and he's like, no, actually. And then he taught me so many things I did not know about whiskey on that episode. So shout out to Nick Taylor. Hey, we'll have you on next week. So batch 8, it's going down. I think I brought it downstairs, so I can't show you the cool new bottle, but it's an 18-year minimum, but there is 26-year whiskey in there at least.
If I remember correctly, the big difference is this one is aged in a Madeira cask. Some of it. Yeah,
the finish of it all. And it is notes of dark berries, I think he said, and tobacco, earthy tobacco.
I think it was blackberry and earthy tobacco. So I am all over this.
Yeah.
Trying not to let predisposition influence me here, but and let's just say I'm excited.
Yeah, prior to us starting today's episode, you're like, so do you not open your bottles? I'm like, normally I don't. And he's like, oh, I have to keep it in.
I'm like, fine.
But, it'll be good. So with that, I hope we have a fun time with Nick next week. But I hope you enjoyed, listener, such a fun episode as it was today, where we're drinking BTAC juice, baby.
I hope Buffalo Trace knows how much I truly appreciate them letting us sample the product and tell you all about it.
Yeah, but most of all, listeners, we hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. You ever just like make sweet cuddles with your wife and then just cuddle up and just be the little spoon?